Sustainability to me is really, in my opinion, it's kind of the only way forward. I have been raised in a world where essentially I've been told from birth that everything's starting to break down. So we're having climate breakdowns, we're having more natural disasters, we're running out of very important resources.
7 groups of university grads under the Sustainable Eastern Ontario's internship program, along with invited businesses and partners, took up the challenge during the pandemic to showcase knowledge and sustainable options for everyday life in the Traveling Energy Cube.
We figured, why don't we do something a little bit bigger, a little bit more challenging to try to bring about some sustainable initiatives downtown.
We landed on this kind of sustainable Centretown idea, the fact that it's local and, if this energy cube is being transported around town, people will be like, hey, that's Centretown, I know that area, and, see just different things that could be implemented that are doable.
So the 4 main ones we have are the increased tree cover along Spark Street. Unfortunately, it still has the beating sun down on it every single day, so it makes it a little bit less pleasant for people going there. So increasing the tree cover can reduce temperatures on the street by up to 10 degrees. So that's a really significant and relatively easy way to help create a more aesthetically pleasing and sustainable city. The second thing we had mentioned was also creating more pedestrian streets, because Spark Street is a big success. And so another street that we thought would be a great idea would be for Bank Street. Already there is quite a few traffic issues, so removing one of those types of transportation might be best to keep everything safer, and would also allow businesses to extend their patios. For example, during COVID, when we didn't exactly have the indoor space to be seating people, it's kind of nice to be able to stretch out onto the street if you have to. And it's also should increase the volume of pedestrians and such to the businesses, which is kind of a good motivator for changing policy decisions. The third thing that we were attempting to highlight was rooftop utilization. So we thought, instead, why don't we try to use the space we already have downtown? One of the major areas that aren't being utilized are roofs. So the roofs of buildings could be painted white, they could add solar panels, or we could add rooftop gardens, which could help reduce the emissions of the buildings, but also help provide food for the people in the buildings, or even just create more green space, more oxygen, all of that. And so our final area that we wanted to light up was for waste removal. For example, the underground garbage cans. They're really common in Amsterdam, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever, especially here where we tend to have a lot of pests and other things.
We all want to live in a healthier, cleaner, more physically appealing city. So, even just having raised bike lanes.
Bike lane, you can see, but it's literally you get run over immediately. And also
sustainability to me is a lifestyle and a cultural approach where the relationship with our surroundings is more give and take rather than just constantly exploitive. What really drives me to be involved in sustainability initiatives and planning is recognizing the disconnect between the smaller decisions that people are able to make in their everyday lives and the larger policy changes that need to happen.
Here are some representations of some solar panels, some green roofs, some white painted roofs, just for different ideas for utilizing rooftops.
Really, we should be trying to structure our society so that people's normal everyday choices, they have the ability to be acting sustainably just in their everyday choices.
We all want to feel safer when we're biking, and when it comes to implementing ideas like this, it starts with the individual, and if we care enough about these things, then that leads us to getting involved to try and get these things implemented.